Let's play some Monster Train. Let's start with the daily challenge. We can see Bestari here at second place. Not bad. Today's daily challenge is Awoken Remnant with the traditional versions of the clans. We have prepared, so we have 12 additional cards in our starting deck. We have Big Chungus, which is one of the biggest downsides. All friendly units get +1 capacity usage. So it really makes it hard to rely on units too much. That isn't great for Melting Remnant. These drags are gonna be awful at 2 capacity. There's also Never Say Die. Friendly non-morsel units get endless. Again, makes these drags pretty bad. But at least it gives some opportunity to use like Melting Remnant tombs or stuff like that. There are certainly big upsides to the endless in Melting Remnant. But yeah, a very weird set of mutators, and a lot of it will depend on the cards from prepared. We fight Talos with knockback, Arcus with Reliant Incant Shards, and Seraph with consume. And of course, we also have the Last Divinity to face. Let's take a look at our deck. Ooh, Awoken Rail Spike. Awake, not a bad card. 2 Driftfalls. That can get around the Big Chungus modifier by overstacking stuff. We have a Molten Encasement as well. Ensnare, Hallowed Drippings, and a Molded. Mortal Entrapment. Sacrificial Resurrection, 3 Sharpens, 2 Sting, a Subsuming Blade, and a Wildwood Custodian on top of our base cards. So what does this deck have? It has some regen with the Awake, a lot of extra spikes with these Sharpens, some capability of taking out weak targets, especially if they're in the front line. Days with a Mortal Entrapment, overstacking potential, and of course an Awoken Rail Spike. That is a tough one. Firestone Housing versus Wing Clippings. Wing Clippings is good with the Awoken Rail Spike, bad with the Hallowed Drippings. Spell cards with Consume. It doesn't influence the Sacrificial Resurrection consume, so that is good. Firestone Housing this early, we could really build a big, strong carry unit. I wonder. I'm gonna go with the Firestone Housing here for sure. We have Spikes and Cultivate options. I was thinking about Bristling Sentient recently, and that it might be pretty good for the new content. So our goal is to get above 70k mostly, like in that area. We can get there. To get there, we kind of need to be able to get at least 1 early boss kill, ideally on the Divinity. Spikes can do pretty decent damage to the Divinity, because they will be attacking the whole time, and especially if we set up on the middle floor, that could work really well because the Divinity has double strike there. Cultivating would push us a little bit more into the realm of getting one really strong unit and supporting it a bunch, like Animals of Will. I'm gonna go with Bristling. How am I recovering? Yeah, besides my cuff and some things associated with it, like a little rough voice still, I'm mostly, yeah, I have basically recovered entirely. It's really just a cuff that is still sticking with me. That will probably take a while to get rid of entirely. Enemy units enter with armor 10. Immediately invalidating our spikes, huh? I don't appreciate that. Can get a subsuming blade kill here if we want to. Let's consume these cards. Finish that guy off with a draft. We do have Reform in the deck. The draft is also endless. Right, the Reform is pretty useless. The only thing we can reform is our champion. Don't want this unit to become endless. This is great though. Extra draw next turn, sure. With this draft we easily have the power to kill this boss. Champion is also endless. Right. The only thing we can reform are the cards we consume with Sacrificial Resurrection. Steel Enhancer, Wildwood Sap, Resto, Dado. You know, I'm kind of thinking we could make the Sacrificial Resurrection intrinsic. And just have a huge draft at the start of every turn. Keep it around until we prolong the burnout with the Hello drippings. Could certainly be a thing. Resto, Dado, Wildwood Sap, Steel Enhancer. We could go for a regen-based defensive strat. But I feel like that's just not good enough. Regen feels significantly worse in the new expansion. With the shards. The fact that you take much more damage. Cards like Awake or Restoration Detonation are much better now. And I feel like I could easily take a Resto Dado here. I will actually do so. We clash. That is a good card. Animus of Will. It's so strong. It's also up Against Husk Hermit, which is also very strong. We already have the Sentient with spikes taking care of some of that backline clearing utility. So I'm gonna go Animus. I would probably have gone Sweeper or if I went for the other champion, but I'm not sure. There are pros and cons to that. Think we go to the right? Let's take a look at this. Multi-strike, huh? We could make an Animus of Will with multi-strike 4 and no attack. We could also make it quick, which I really don't like with Spike Sentient. +10/+10 and burnout 2. That is probably not the essence we want to use. Draw +1 each turn. Probably not on Animus of Will. What are our available essences for Animus? We have Awoken and Melting Remnant available. I could see Shattered Shell being quite good. Awoken Hollow could work. Steel Singer could work. For Melting Remnant, Draft would be interesting. Wickless Baron could go quite well. Formless Child is an interesting one with Endless. But that will kind of require quick. Big Sludge will be amazing. That will probably be our best hit. There is a Remnant banner next to a Hersal Sword. I think I'll dig for essences there. I don't think I want Animus of Speed or a second Animus of Will here. We don't really have anything to pact with right now, although the Molten Encasement is certainly an option. Not a great one though. How do we scale this Animus? Right now we only have the Sharpen. That will... well, Wicklash could work as well. I might leave the other slots open until... well, if I want to dupe this unit, then I shouldn't leave the slots open. Kinda thinking about getting a large stone, but that would make the setup more complicated. We can take capacity and then have these on the same floor. And then later on add other units with Dripfall. I will probably still take a large stone. Yeah, I would. I would like a large stone. Setup wouldn't get that much more difficult. There are a variety of ways that can help us do the setup. Yet this is pretty much useless in this challenge. If I don't dupe here, I could still dupe there. And still get a second Animus if I need to. That is reasonable. Twinstone Awoken Railspike is good if we can find either the first Hell Pact or a value stone for it. Other than that, I don't really see anything that wants the Twinstone. There is the chance to gain Intrinsic on either the Sacres. Probably on the Sacres, right? I find this very intriguing. But we can't upgrade the draft from it. So it's just gonna be a multi-strike 1 unit with giant attack. That is quite good, but is it good enough? It will be strong early on. And if we can find something like a Lost Luggage, it could be extremely strong. Other options for Intrinsic are Dripfall, allowing us to immediately set up a floor with Animus of Will and our champion. The problem is that Animus of Will be dazed. Awoken Railspike could be Intrinsic. We just play it on turn 1, but that's often when we want to play our units, so probably not. Wicklash could be Intrinsic, so we can immediately buff our Animus of Will with some damage. And Burnout, but that is not a problem with Endless. I'm going with the Sacrificial Resurrection. Could put the Twin Stone in the Awoken rail spike right now. It's never gonna be an issue. It's just not gonna be useful until we actually get some other pieces to go along with it. Be that a value stone or some other way of taking advantage of it. Mark of Invasion is actually no problem for us. It might be a slight problem. Because of the damage we take. Animals of Will can't be undefended. So I think I consume it this fight. It's worth setting up on the top floor, I think. How do we make the sentient survive? Also, this bottom floor is a slight problem. I might have to go with a very unusual play here. No, that doesn't work. I can't go with the play I wanted to make. This opening is actually awkward. We will always take 1 damage to the Conduit Infiltrator. Unless our opening is playing neither the Animus nor the Sacrificial Resurrection and instead going with Crane Steward Sharpen on the bottom floor and Sentient on the top floor. That leads to us facing down 19 damage on a 15 health Sentient next turn. So unless we're drawing Awake, all 3 restores or Restoration Detonation. Or I guess some combination Stings do about as much as a restore. Molten Encasement will save us. A Drag does as much as a restore. Actually, even if the Sentient dies, that's not necessarily a problem. Well, Molten Encasement does save the Sentient, but it keeps these enemies alive. That is a no-go. Sentient died. But Sentient doesn't stay dead. Kinda want the Sentient to be on the bottom floor. But we can't solve the top floor with Drag Sharpen. We can almost solve the top floor with that. I think Drag is just gonna be our backliner. I wish we could play this. Draw +1 each turn. That won't trigger anymore. This hand is extremely useless. I don't want to play 2 units on the bottom floor. I guess I can play 1 unit in the Dripfall. Just to take out this Clergyman. Reduce the pressure a little bit. Yeah, that's about what I figured. Right, the Drag is not going to be a backliner because of the sweep on this guy. Is that going to be enough to kill us? It's not. But still. I think we need another solution to this. Main problem is we don't have any way to make a backliner. Right? The only way to actually keep our backliner alive is gonna be Molten Encasement. Oh, I hate it so much. This just sucks. We take one here. Better than taking like 50 to the boss. And now we're in this weird spot where we can't really do a whole lot. Wait, you still die? 3, 6, 9, 12, 17. Ah. I wanted to use the Dripfall on a collector. This fight is brutal. Tough one to solve. When is Animals of Will better than the Sacres? It is not in this fight. Killing the clergyman off here would be really nice. That should be worth. I just realized what I had to do on my first turn. We don't need to kill all of them with spikes if we have an attack on the sentient. Three, 6, 9, 12, 17, 20. If we restore, we kill all of them. Gives us access to Molten Encasement Draft on the bottom floor. And then we lose the collector. I think we take another one. And now we move to the bottom floor and set our boss kill lineup up. We take another 10 to this guy though. I wish we could deal with them. Subsuming Blade or something. 40 attack 2 times. Stealth 2. No, you will die to... You will still die to sweep. Unless... let's see if this works out. I don't think it will. Okay. I think I finally have the solution to this fight. Well, stuff is all good. But we need this setup on the bottom floor. You on the top that kills this guy. And now, yeah, you would not hit the draft because the clergyman is in front of you and kills the molten encasement. But we're a little bit short on damage. We are lacking 60 damage. We don't get that from an additional drag. We can daze the High Priest, but that's not gonna do anything. So I think the only option we have is just let them get to the top floor and die to our sentient. Weird sound there. Steel enhance or restore dead or sharpen. Feel like we need better scaling than Steel Enhancer, but having a Steel Enhancer in the deck is not a bad thing. I will gladly take another Whiplash. Cursed Vines, yes please. This is plus 10 attack. But this is also a Paraffin Enforcer. Bone Dog. Sorry friend, this is a daily challenge. I can't take you. You can play with my Train Steward. Is this where we start using Animals of Will? I don't think so. I think it's still worse than Sacres. We set up Sentient on the bottom with the Giraffe behind. We lose the Wildwood Custodian. I don't care too much about that. I want the 50 damage hits. As soon as we can extend Burnout on the draft, we can use the Paraffin Enforcer on top of that. But not yet. Which means we will never play it this fight. I hope this is gonna be enough power. This is pretty good. That's a very good turn for Animals of Will to die. For the Sentient to die. If we model Entrapment, you will gain a buff that we need to restore. We can't model Entrapment and restore. There is another way though. That means the Sentient will survive, huh? I kinda don't want that. That means I shouldn't have killed the Archer. Does the model entrapment even matter? It kinda does. Well, let's see how this goes. We need to keep the draft alive is the issue here. Draw X -1 cards. Suddenly fresh sentient and infinite burnout for the win. Wax and Spike. That is a good addition to this deck. Legion of Wax. Lady of the Reformed. These are... all three of those would open very interesting possibilities. Paraffin Enforcer infused into a Legion of Wax could be nuts. A Paraffin Enforcer infused in an Animus of Will already is nuts, and we do have these tools already. So, Do want to go to the right here. What else do we want? Feel like none of these really matter if we stay with the Animus Paraffin Enforcer plan. Maybe the Lady of the Reformed, but it's gonna be really hard to make use of her. No, it's not. We have Cursed Vines. Oh, that's gonna be so weird though. Play the Lady of the Reformed, Ripfall her, then Cursed Vines her to the front to extend burnout on our units. That seems so much effort. Too much effort. Now I feel like we should go Light of the Seraph. Although there are ways around it. If we can make it Ripfall intrinsic, we don't need it. And then we instead want to go with... what? Energy? Draw? This deck definitely kinda wants everything. We can't make a Ripfall intrinsic just yet is the problem. But I think that's the better way than going for Light of the Seraph. In the long run. This is difficult. These choices are all... they all matter a lot. There is a large stone. That is a very appealing option. Mark of a Champion or the Sentient. Gain +0 attack. Catches of Salvation. That changes everything. Kinda have to go with the Animus of Will like that. We can't wait for another Merchant of Steel. We need to start duping them ASAP. I like that the dupe and the removal are on the same side here. I don't like that they're on the same side as the Pyro Remains, but... we kind of have to get all units out of here, starting with the Dregs. Not all units, but a bunch of units. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units still. I will purge another drag. We do have a dupe here, another dupe there, and a final dupe in this area. That means we can end up with 4 Animuses of Will. And that's kinda what I wanna do. Well, we'll see how we get the other units out of the deck. Multi-strike? That just means you hit my spikes more often. Your loss. This is not what I really want on this floor. Yeah, I think Sacrificial Resurrection is not important right now. Get rid of this guy. You hit for 10 twice. That's pretty rough. At this stage of the fight. We keep this in the deck for later use. Do we Wicklash anyone here? I think so. How do we deal with the next wave? This is weird. Ensnare might be helpful. Could get a Subsuming Blade kill. But I don't think that matters all that much. This guy can just die in the pyre. We descend you. This floor is a better place to make our last stand on. We need to kill that guy. That is Really important. Really, really important. You die after one hit, so that's 10, 18 from you, 28, 38, so a restore wouldn't change anything. Time to wax you guys up. Time to keep you guys waxed up. I don't want this floor to die. So you two kill the frontliner. We don't know what we will draw next turn. We set up the Wildwood. I really want to drip for the Animus, but I can't do it this turn. I need to hope for a drip fall this turn. Or maybe even next turn. We kill everyone on this floor, so that is nice at least. With the Awoken Rail Spike, we have a somewhat decent chance of finding the descent we need. Oh, it's the weaker one. Didn't get it. I don't think Sacres was enough. I guess we get the second floor kill then. Yeah, that one is pretty easy. Do I need this? No. Focus growth, preserve thorns, and snare. Ensnare can sometimes be helpful. Not too much though. Hallowed halls. No. Not for this deck. Because my units are all endless, so killing them will put them on top of the deck instead. So we can't even reform them. It's pretty useless with these mutators. We sacrifice the Paraffin Enforcer into the Animus of Will. We make the Wax and Spike intrinsic. Plus 30 spell power. Giant nuke. Or just make the subsuming blade more useful. Ginormous nuke. With a lot of healing potential. That seems actually pretty useful. No higher health to regain. We do get a lot of extra shards from duping these Animuses. Sentient goes on the bottom floor as usual. We do want you on the board. We do want you on the relevant floor. And then we extend the burnout and add some damage to all of you guys. Guess that reduces the damage by 2. And these cards are useless, so we consume them and replace them with a single card. It's still a pretty useless card, but at least it's just one that we have to draw. Kinda want to play Mortal Entrapment here on the overcharge tank. Prevent the damage. But there are so many other cards I could play here. We can do that. We probably should. Whiplash would especially be good. Scaling our damage pretty significantly. But our damage is not the main problem. The main problem is our defense. There are some solutions to the defense thing, but they will need time. Our damage is not the problem because every time one of these attacks, all of them gain Rage 3 and they attack 4 times a turn. So the Rage is gonna scale out of control. But yeah, staying alive with these units, big up problem. Router prevents him from dropping down. Are we just strong enough? On this floor, we might be. Look at these attack values. They are nice. We want to kill you first, so the backliner doesn't get even more armor off of this. I would really like if Resto Dedo was still in the deck. But we might draw into it in time. It is time to play a Whiplash. Make sure the burnout is top. We're still only killing on the second floor. If I had a Dripfall here, I would probably Mortal Entrap and then Dripfall one of these guys down. How much damage are you doing? 30? That's almost nothing. Yeah, we kill you in one turn. Well, I guess I just reduced my chance of drawing Subsuming Blade and getting another kill off of it. Oh well. So much yes. That is a very neat relic. Engraph, Focused Growth, Wildwood Custodian. No. Crushing Demise, Mortal Entrapment, Engulfed in Smoke. Also no. Engulfed in Smoke was certainly tempting. But I don't think it's what we really want. Capricious Reflection and Flicker Slicker. Capricious Reflection can help us save some money. Flicker Slicker is rarely gonna do anything. Except in our opening hand. We engage in some more pacting just to get rid of some units. Put you into the Molten Encasement. Intrinsic, that goes on a Dripfall. Twinstone is gonna be pretty hard to utilize. Double stack. Do we need more burnout? I don't think we need more burnout. Magic power is not essential. Cost reduction, on the other hand, sure is. That goes on the intrinsic Dripfall. Magic power? Probably on the rest of that, though. And double stack, I don't think we buy that. Consume removal. That could almost go on a Waxen Spike, but not really. Cost reduction goes on the Subsuming Blade, I think. Magic power and consume, that goes on Restore. I like finally having some spell upgrades. Next turn we get 2 removals and a dupe. Right now we have... We also have another Citadel. Is that what they're called? Divine Temple? 1, 2, 3... We want to have 1 Train Steward in the deck that we can fuse into the other. We can buy a Purge here. We could also not buy the Purge. I think I'll go with purging 1 Train Steward, making the next fight a little bit more consistent. This is an important one after all. Getting both Animuses out on turn 1 would be nice. I think we set up our middle floor with this. And then just wax it. I do want to keep the Resto Deado in the deck. I hate that Arcus has stealth. Makes it so hard to get a flying kill. But I mean, kinda my fault for taking 160 shards already. This is just health scaling. It's pretty bad health scaling, but it's still health scaling. Sadly, the Wine Grasp doesn't help us here. We could use it on the Golden Encasement anytime, pretty much, in fact. To gain stealth, if needed. The more health this clipped reflector has, the more we can hit them with the Animus of Will. So we wanna get maximum incants here. Which is not usually how I approach these enemies. These guys will just die to the spikes, so we're better off slaying them outright. My sentient is kind of not in a good spot. Which of these cards still matter to us? The weakened rail spike maybe, but not that much. I think it's time to thin out our deck and focus on getting some more healing cards. And we don't even want to play this draft. It's endless. Just slows us down. This one is especially nice. Might as well heal you up all the way. Don't need the extra damage from this. These guys always die to spikes anyway, so might as well get rid of them. Incant Shard on this floor. Should have killed the backliner. Just pull them to the front and stink them. I will still pull them to the front. I think we do want to play the Awake still. Maybe I play the draft just to get rid of the Steel Enhancer. Maybe we don't play anything. We have enough density of healing effects in the deck that we should be able to heal you back up in just a bit. Like right now. I kinda wanna get the Subsuming Blade off though. And if we resto Dedo, we don't have a chance to strike you. But we will have the Awake in hand anyways. How much regen? 3? We can just put down the Train Steward on the top floor. That doesn't hurt anybody. $29 damage. I don't think we need more than like 2 turns. Well, no, you have stealth, huh? But you know, I have stealth myself. Permafrost Cycle of Life, Permafrost Spreading Spores, or 0 cost Intent on Death. Spreading spores. Permafrost isn't the right upgrade for them. We are picking energy now. That much is certain. I feel like none of these cards will really help me out. And I kinda want the rejuvenating sentient now. Cultivating sentient. We don't need more spikes. Is that true? We're up against Consume Seraph, so we are facing stealth. We can't get a flying kill on that one unless we manage to remove their stealth. The extra draw is helpful, but so is the extra health. The cultivating effect still matters, even though it's not huge, but it does matter. Tough choice. We go for spikes. Let's gain some more pack charts. Intrinsic again. What else do I want in my opening hand? I guess Hello Drippings? I guess so. Spell Chain again. This one is hard. Really nothing great to use it on. That is just such overkill. I think it will be better on a Steel Enhancer. We might have to come back to this. The up is pretty easy. The removal is... This one is quite easy. We do want the Molten Encasement to be around for the next fight, so we don't remove that yet. I'm just gonna get rid of this Spell Chain upgrade. I'll just take the Shards, thank you. Sweepers are slightly annoying. Other than that, I'm not too worried about anything here. We do now have this setup guaranteed. Burn out on everyone. Prolong it. I don't want to get rid of the Awake. Get rid of you. I wish I could daze you without descending you. But I guess we can prevent you from hitting us. So we don't have to face with... so we don't have to deal with your sweep. Sure, I'll waste this. Well, this one will be able to hit us. As long as we kill everything, we don't benefit from stinging the enemies. Wine grasp shouldn't make a difference. Oh, it's draw 4, right. Right. No sweep allowed. Don't wanna get rid of these cards? Kinda. Do you think we have enough burnout on our units? Get rid of him. Sure, I'll deal with the Endless for a turn. There's you again. Maybe I should have played the Awake. Are you strong enough to kill this guy on the bottom floor? You might be. Yeah, that will do. Get that bottom floor kill. Like, one of these guys is enough to solo the boss. And we have 3 of them. And not just we have 3 of them. We have 3 that benefit off of each other. No. Holdover Sacres. Yeah, the resin removal is the one card that I really needed. This one card makes a gigantic difference. We never found the value stone, huh? We don't need holdover at all, right? We kinda need holdover. We kinda need a holdover Dripfall. Let's take a look at this. Has Spike Steel +1 damage per stack? Does our spike damage even matter? Yeah, from here on out it will matter. None of these are relevant. Not even the faulty loader. We dupe this. We reroll here for an Ember Stone on... where is it? Here. We don't need double stack, but we need one more Purge. 250 shards? Is that all? And keep the remaining 400 for score. I don't think we need any more removals. With the 28 card deck and the amount of draw we have, I think we're mostly gonna be fine. As usual, we play you. Do I want to consume the Stripfall? I'd rather consume the piercing, subsuming blade actually. Is that true? Yeah. Yeah, it is. We Dripfall you. Send you to the front. Biggest wax and spike. And another A burnout. Resin removal. Damn. Would have been very nice here. We don't need to take damage. We probably want to restore, consume these sharpens, to be honest. They are kind of bad. Don't like that we can't kill you. But it's okay. Resin removal. Say goodbye to your stealth, Seraph. Wanna get the self-mutilation out. Draw 4. Makes that Vengeful Shard less of an issue. Really don't want to do this right now. I need the hits I can get next turn, no problem. We get the hits anyways, but not this turn. We might need to heal. We don't need to heal just yet. This is why I need Dripfall. We're close. We're really close. These guys die to spikes anyways. Let's do the heal. Let's do the buff. Dripfalling Seraph this turn might have been a mistake. That might prevent me on getting a kill next turn. It does not, because Seraph stupidly decides to move up instead of down. Okay. Thank you, Seraph. Much appreciated. Very nice cooperation there. I will invite you again. But Seraph is not really what this deck was built for. This deck was built for the Divinity. And it will wreck them. We will probably have one of the quickest Divinity kills that is possible with a non-infinite combo deck. And we will deal 2k damage on the first turn. Right now these guys have 75 attack. But after they attacked, they have 169 because of all the rage they're gaining. And Divinity dies on the second turn. Everyone dies to spikes, so these guys can hit Seraph. How much rage are we building a turn? 12. We have 16 attacks. Each each attack gives 3 rage to everyone. That's 48 rage a turn, 96 attack a turn. Well, 2 less because 1 rage decays. 94 attack growth a turn with 16 attack. That is such crazy scaling. Did you not know about stealth on the Seraph and didn't pick the resin removal, Bestari? Nice. That is a very nice call. The 8-turn boss rush on the Divinity is so good. But yeah, the 6-turn boss rush on Seraph is also worth 5.4k. We did get 10k points for the pack shards alone. Yeah, resin removal was really helpful on the Seraph. That gave us 4 turns of boss rush, which is worth 3.6k just for picking this card. But yeah, 4 hits with Paraffin Enforcer. That is just crazy. Paraffin Enforcer, Animus of Will might be one of my favorite synergies. That is like... you didn't think about it at the time. Yeah, I can see that happen to me as well in another timeline. Paraffin Enforcer, that's basically like Alpha Fiend, gain 6 attack on strike. But instead of just gaining it yourself, everyone on the floor gains it. The only downside, you have to keep the burnout in check. Combustible Wax helped a lot. But I mean, Wax and Spike with Intrinsic and Hello Dripping with Intrinsic will usually take care of that. So the Combustible Wax was just a safety measure. Nice. Got the top spot here. Let's take a look at Nilsson's deck. Animus of Will with Animus of Speed. Also not a bad combination. Sentient with Revenge and Rejuvenate. That makes a lot of sense with these animi. Behemoth Stone on the Animus. Not bad. Wait, what? It's just one Animus. How does this deck work again? Nine-turn boss rush on the Divinity with 210 shards. That requires about... That requires 6,000 damage on the first turn. No, this is not legit. Unless there is some kind of Awoken Rail Spike Infinite that I'm missing. Is there an infinite in this deck? There is... That doesn't seem to be. Huh. I'm gonna report though this run. But yeah, it's also really, really fast. 28 minutes on a Last Divinity run. That is insane speed. Like, not quite speedrun level, but pretty close. Like, I guess speedrunning the Last Divinity will probably take about 10 minutes. But still. 9-turn boss rush against Divinity seems impossible with this deck unless I'm missing an infinite. Like, if the Awoken Rail Spike had Spell Chain, Value Stone, and there were 2 of them in the deck, that would still not be an infinite. Because they consume. I have no idea. But I think... And here's Bestaris build. Paraffin Enforcer, Animals of Will with Large Stone, Multi-Strike and Attack buff. Sounds familiar. Sentient with 40 Spike. Very familiar. Random Lady of the Reformed still left in the deck. The Train Steward. Oh, there were actually quite a few units that could get in the way of the sketches. Slowed down the Last Divinity kill by quite a bit. More money? How is the early game compared to us? Did much better on that second fight. Afterwards, it's pretty much the same. All the 2-turn boss rushes. Also got the 3-turn boss rush on the Pyre Wings. Yeah, very similar run. Lot of the same cards as well. Mortal and most of these were in the starting deck. Picked up a Focus Growth. Picked both Wicklashes as well. Restoration, Detonation, also with the Extreme Stone. Holdover, nice touch. Intrinsic Dripfall, of course. Waxen Spike, sure. Not intrinsic, but still good. Ah, the Spell Chain on the Hello Drippings. I was considering it, but I found it to be unnecessary. That makes a lot of sense too. Yeah. Very similar decks, I like it. Ah, the Iron Drop Cage. Yeah, that also makes sense with it. It was very tempting with the Dripfalls. Capacity Relic, huh? It's a nice safe option to pick the Light of the Seraph there. Yeah, that was a great daily challenge.